What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video and today with a guide for Relentless Rumble Brawl number 3. This time around we are facing Cassidy, and Cassidy can be quite mean. Her ult is a big wave that will push our heroes around and can do a ton of damage, and she also has the foresight buff. So every 5th Cassidy that spawns will basically immediately cast her ultimate skill and thus push our heroes around, which can be quite annoying. But there's a great team made by Harbinger that will definitely get you a nice score if you have the heroes for it. If you don't, I will show you 2 more teams that you should have the heroes for, and that will bring you safely through this and get you the 35 required defeated enemies to get the max loot. So starting off, there's one thing to note: we are using Tellen in this, and Harbinger came up with a nice way to activate the frontline spell. Frontline spell is usually only activated when 3 heroes enter the enemy side of the battle, and well, Smokey and Coco don't generally move, and Tellen won't by herself enter the enemy side of the battlefield. She will usually just cast her ult around here. To get around that, we have to do a manual Tellen ult, and for that you want to head to your settings, go to battle, and switch auto battle from all heroes to only select heroes. Then you can go back into the events, and I will demonstrate how we do that, because the first Tellen ult that we are going to do, we want to send that to the enemy side of the battle. So we click the cogwheel to make it grey to activate the manual casting, wait until her ult is full, and then we send her to one of the last 2 squares there, which sets the banner you can see right here, and then we can activate the cogwheel instantly again, because she will lose her ult there pretty quickly, and once she does her next ult, she will return to our side of the battlefield, where she's a little bit more safe to cast a few more ults. Tellen is the big RNG factor here. Well, Tellen and Smokey, we have to say, because if either one gets stunned, well, they stop their ult. And we saw that on Smokey right now, stopped our heal. And for Tellen it's really the same. And on some attempts you will notice that they get pushed together like this really. This could be a very bad attempt actually. Very bad for this video. Because when they are together, the Cassidys generally hit them all. And it's kind of better if they at least don't hit the Smokey. But maybe we'll get a good score. We'll see. The lowest I got from this was 58. The highest was 69. But I'm pretty sure with a few more attempts I could squeeze out a 70 here. I'm honestly pretty sure about this. 63, however, not too bad. We are way beyond the amount of kills that we needed for this. 66. Okay, I get this. This is a decent run for this. We can see, well, the Tellen can do about 100 million more damage actually. So this was really quite a bad run. But still, we got the required threshold, so that is already quite good. So let's continue with some teams that I also saw, and have some not so steep hero requirements. So here we have a team by Elaine that uses no Celestial or Hypergen heroes at all. We have Tazy in here and Lily May, and further down the line after this I will also show you a team with Corin and Marilee that also works quite well. So starting this fight off, we see one thing that you should note: you get huge damage on that Sharky at the beginning. Like the first hero, the frontmost hero, will face incredible damage. This hit by the Cassidys is not to be made fun of. It is actually quite insane. So make sure you have a tank in that slot. Maybe you could use a Thorin. Should possibly work. You can also run Fresto. I've seen that being done successful on a few attempts as well, so definitely also an option. Tazy of course provides us with a little bit of CC while also providing decent clear. You can see 32 right now, 34, so we're already beyond the minimum amount of kills that we can get. Lily May can be nice because you will get block a decent amount of ults. Once you get into the higher kill ranges, in general the heroes will survive a bit longer, and many of these smaller Cassidys, of the ones that didn't even get the foresight buff, will also reach their ult, which can become quite problematic. But we are even nearing 50 kills here. I think we can do it. Unless our heroes now die, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, 50. Nice. So 50 even without any Celestial or Hypergen heroes. Fairly nice. Now we get into the little bit more problematic areas though, where the heroes become really tanky. 4 seconds left, I guess. 53, 54 should be the final result. Come on, Tazy, one more ult. 52. Okay, we didn't get another kill. But still, 52 without Celestial Hypergen heroes, with just Tazy and Lily May mainly as damage dealers. You can see 104 million right there. That is really mostly the initial hit that this Sharky has to take. So good tank can really go a long way on this one. So let me set up the next team for you. Okay, this is our last team. This was made by Rod over on the Analytica Discord, and he's using Corin and Marilee in this. He's using Great Sword spell. Keep in mind, it is possible on this team to use Frontline spell, even though we only have 2 melee attackers. If you use this strategy I explained for the first team and manually cast a Marilee ult, you can actually move her over to the enemy side. We are using Great Sword spell, but I will quickly demonstrate this. So we are again clicking on the wheel, activate the Marilee ult, and we can, for example, move her here, which is on the enemy side. Then we just have to hope that Corin and Shaki actually follow her. And once that happens, it would be activated. I will now make it automatic again. And then we should get around 40 kills. So that should work out. If you struggle with survivability, maybe try experimenting with Frontline spell. It should provide you with a little bit better survivability. It is also an option to really manually cast a Marilee ult. She tends to go towards the Smoky. If she isn't there, if she's more on the right side, that will actually direct the waves a little bit away from our Smoky, keep that buff a little bit more active. So that is another option that you can take, and if you really want to squeeze out maybe one more defeated enemy or two, that could help you in that endeavor. But we are already on 35 right now, and this would already give us our max loot. So pretty good team. With a very low requirement of heroes. I guess many players that played from Season 1 or from the base story on, from the release, should have Marilee still, because, well, she was the top damage dealer back then. I kind of moved a little bit out of meta, but we got a good 41 kills here, so that is a nice option. Let us move into the recommended heroes outside of this. So definitely insane Marilee damage right there. But honestly, Corin, pretty good for an A tier. That you can just get from the Dream Store. So let's talk about some of the heroes that you can select instead. So of course we used Wraec, so the obvious first recommendation that I always give, if Wraec is possible, so is Seth. So Seth, once again, a recommendation for this. You can use the Wraec team and just place Seth in there. He should perform a little bit less well, but it should still be alright, and you should get a decent amount of hits, with it definitely possible to reach the 35. So once again, we have a good damage dealer in Wraec. Possibly you could also go and use Lenya. Lenya in most scenarios performs a little bit less good than, well, the Seth, but could still clear it. And if you have her well equipped, I have a +20 at the moment for Ravaged Realm, she should do very well. Same goes for Vala. Vala, if you manually cast her ult, you always want to directly send her to the enemy tile to trigger true damage. We have discussed that in earlier videos. That is also an option. Last recommendation I want to give is mostly talking about tanks, because, well, you might struggle a little bit with the damage that comes into the front. First option is definitely, well, Fresto, really, because he's quite insane. But we noticed on earlier Ravaged Realm brawls, that, for Relentless Rumble brawls, that Thorin can also deal a ton of damage. So as long as your Thorin survives a little bit, survives the initial onslaught, or, well, just uses his revive ability, you might be able to dish out some insane ults that could do a ton of damage. Lastly, well, it is still an option to go with Granny or Luca, in case you can slot him in. Maybe if you don't have like the Shark here and you have Luca, that would be an option, but really I would probably keep it between Fresto, Thorin, or, well, not a tank but fulfills the role, Shark here. Shark is always a great choice, especially if you have him at +10. Then you also get his Lupine buffs, which are really, really great. So in the long run, definitely try to get yourself a +10 Shark here. So that was it for this video. I hope I can improve my results to 70, honestly, on this one. That would be quite great. I will try my very best, and then we will see. So thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And with that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.